Welcome to the online Stand Down Dog Handling 101 training with PAWS San Diego. Let's start by talking about some volunteer duties and expectations for this event. What is stand down? Historically, in times of war, exhausted combat units requiring time to rest and recover were removed from the battlefields to a place of relative safety and security while other units assumed watch. Today, stand down refers to a time when our homeless veterans can remove themselves from the combat of the streets and allow the community of San Diego to stand watch so they can receive needed services and rest. Currently, more than 200 stand downs take place across the nation each year. San Diego is one of the largest, with over 1,000 participants and 3,000 volunteers. So, where do we come in? PAWS is on site for the weekend to take care of the many participants' pets while they attend the event. Volunteers will help with handling and paperwork as needed. This is what your training plan will look like for helping out at this event. Online training, which you are completing now. Optional hands-on training at the San Diego campus on Gain Street. This will go over leash handling and crating dogs and will last between 30 minutes to an hour. And finally, you will receive on-site training when you arrive for your shift at the event. In getting ready for your shift, let's go over some important points to prepare. Your uniform is going to consist of your volunteer t-shirt and name badge, long pants, and closed-toed shoes. Also, please be prepared for rain or shine. We will have treat bags and poop bags available for you to use during your shift. If you have your own, please bring those, but we will have these items when you check in. Lastly, this event will be a mixture of busy time and downtime, so maintaining a calm presence will be crucial to minimizing the stress of the participants and their pets. Let's talk more about the equipment you will be seeing at the event. Every dog should have a collar on at all times. Leashes should be kept clipped to the collars at all times, even when in the crate. The end of the leash should be left outside of the crate so it can be picked up before the crate door is opened. If the dog comes in with a harness on, the harness should be kept on the dog at all times unless the owner removes it and puts it back on themselves. For safety, always be aware of yourself, the dog, and your surroundings. Listen to your inner voice. It's usually always right. If any dog makes you uncomfortable, do not push it. Stay within your comfort zone. And if you notice any odd behaviors, medical issues, or accidents that might happen, please report these to your coordinator immediately. Some things to watch out for during this event. Children want to pet dogs, and some of these dogs may not get along with children. We really don't know how these dogs will get along with the children, so politely tell them that you're on a training session and then keep walking. You do not know how dogs will react to other dogs getting close, so we want to avoid them. Either turn around and go another way or put your hand out and tell them your dog does not like other dogs. Lastly, be aware of other volunteers with dogs. Give each other space to move and avoid all contact. Your word of the day will be yield. If you yield to all people and dogs, then you avoid the problems that may occur. A little bit of yielding will save a lot of time and stress, especially if it saves people and the dog from getting hurt. Let's talk more about working with dogs that have a variety of owners. We will be working with many different kinds of people from all walks of life. We are here to support them and not judge them. During this event, one of the most important points to remember is that these dogs are not shelter dogs. They have owners. You will be working with owned dogs that understand and know their owners' expressions and mannerisms well. They will not understand you nearly as well. These dogs are going to be in a strange environment, being handled by strangers. We will also work with bonded dogs. When a dog is away from its bonded owner, many times the only activity it wants to participate in is finding its bonded owner. The bottom line is these animals already have an owner. We want to let their owners do the handling if they can. Encourage owners to come back and check in on their animals during the day so that the animal gets time with their owner. A little more on handling. Remember, we are only here to handle the animals for a potty break if the owners are not able to. Owners should be taking their dog out if at all possible. The dogs are safe and most often more calm in the crate than outside if their owner is not around. Remember, a dog will read you as it would another dog. Leaning over, looming, restraining by grabbing a collar, these are all threats to the dog and may be a cause for retaliation. so we want to give the animals as much space as possible. When approaching the dog, you want to kneel sideways to let the dog approach you. If they do approach you, you can then pet them under the chin, under the chest, or on the side. If the dog gives you any signal at all to stop, respect that decision. Remember, you are a stranger. Watch for signals of stress. Things like lip licking, turning their head away, and trying to move away from you may be some signal that the dog is not comfortable. If the dog looks anxious or asks you to stop multiple times, it may be time to say that the dog is not comfortable in the environment, especially at a large, crowded, and noisy event such as this one. At this point in time, the dog will probably be more comfortable in the crate with some downtime. Crates are not a bad thing. They allow dogs to have downtime and their own space. We want to avoid overhandling the dogs, and we want to let the owners handle their own animals if possible. When asking a dog to go into a crate, some techniques you can use will be to toss a couple of treats in or put some wet food in the far end. Keep hold of the leash until the door is shut and the dog is inside. You will then let the very end of the leash hang out of the crate door or bottom. If there's any sign of avoidance when asking the dog to come out of the crate, when you're at the crate front, toss the dog a couple of treats before you open the door and see if you can get any signs of friendliness. You will then take up the end of the leash that is outside of the crate before opening the door. Try not to take dogs out of crates that are stationed right next to each other simultaneously. For example, take dogs out of crate number 1 and crate number 3 for their walks, and then take dogs out of crate number 2 and crate number 4 for their walks. When you are ready for your walk, always pick a dog that matches your abilities. You will loop the leash around your thumb and then lock it into place by your fingers. We never twist, loop, or wrap the leash around any other body part. Lastly, your elbow should rest comfortably against your side in order for you to maintain leverage and control. Keep in mind there is a good distance and a bad distance when having the dogs on leash. Dogs do not need to have the whole leash. A close dog is a safe dog. Dogs that have 6 feet of leash can easily get into trouble. Dogs that have a long leash are able to reach out and get their mouths on things that can hurt them. This includes other dogs. They can also get much more leverage on you to pull you over. Some last things to remember during this event. Once you take a leash, you are responsible for the physical, mental, and emotional health of that dog. Respect that some dogs are not going to be nearly as comfortable with you as you are with them. Do your best to keep dogs away from each other. You're free to politely ask them to give your dog some space or that your dog does not like other dogs. Lastly, keep a close eye on any children nearby. They are little bundles of human instinct, and their first one is usually to wrap their arms around a dog's neck. Try to not stop and let children pet the dog. Just keep moving and let them know you're on an important training. This goes for anyone, child or adult. Please try to keep them from interacting with the dogs. If you have any questions prior to your volunteer shift at this exciting event, please email volinfo@sdhumane.org. If you are interested in getting a hands-on leash walking or crate training, please respond to this email with the date you would like to attend that was included in this email. Thanks so much for volunteering. We look forward to seeing you there.